As the saying goes, to be old and wise, you must first be young and stupid. If you're lucky, you'll only suffer some embarrassment that might follow you into your later years, thanks to the folly of youth. However, in the case of Amanda Knox, a few critical mistakes one day cost her years of freedom and a blanket of notoriety that she can never quite escape. On November 1st, 2007, her life and the lives of many others were irrevocably changed. This is the case of Amanda Knox.
So are you excited to go visit where you're going to live in Italy?
Yeah!
Qualcuno è praticamente entrato in casa sfondando la finestra.
Decidono di porre in atto il progetto di coinvolgere Metz in un pesante gioco sessuale.
Meredith era mia amica e non la odiavo.
Amanda Knox's verdict has just been read.
During the fall of 2007, then 20-year-old Amanda Knox, a native of Seattle, Washington, was studying abroad in Perugia, Italy, a lovely cobblestone city 2 hours north of Rome. She had acclimated well to the culture, taking a part-time job at a local bar and striking up a relationship with a 23-year-old Italian native named Raffaele Sollecito. In September, she moved into a flat with 3 other people, 2 Italian women and 1 English woman named Meredith Kercher. Like Amanda, Meredith was a young student eager to study abroad in a new city and culture. She hailed from London, and at only 21 years old, she had big dreams of working for the European Union. By all accounts, Amanda and Meredith got along just fine, although Meredith seemed to hang around other English expats, while Amanda preferred to surround herself with Italian locals. Nevertheless, the pair occasionally partied and went out together, as young roommates often do. On the evening of November 1st, 2007, both of their Italian flatmates were out of town, as were the residents of the downstairs apartment just below their home. Amanda was spending the night at her boyfriend's place, which was a 5-minute walk from her own dwelling, while Meredith grabbed dinner with 3 of her English friends. At 8:45 p.m., she parted ways with one of these women, a mere 500 yards from her front door. She was never seen alive again. The next morning, Amanda stopped by the house to grab a few things and noticed that something was amiss. The front door stood ajar, bloodstains were present in the bathroom, and Meredith's bedroom door was locked. Though naturally perturbed by the open front door and the blood, Amanda chalked it up to a rough night out and went about her day, returning to Raffaele's apartment to watch a movie. As the hours ticked by, Amanda felt more and more uneasy about the scene at her flat. To give her some peace of mind, she phoned Meredith, hoping to get an explanation for the strange situation at home. Meredith normally always picked up her phone, so when Amanda listened to the line ring and ring with no answer, her unease grew. She then called one of her Italian roommates, Filomena Romanelli, and explained the situation. Filomena recommended that Amanda return to the flat and attempt to enter Meredith's locked room, so she and Raffaele did just that. When they were unable to breach the door, Amanda called her mother, who recommended that the couple contact the police. Raffaele called the Carabinieri, one of Italy's law enforcement agencies, just before 1 p.m., and officers arrived on the scene shortly after, as did Filomena and one of her male friends. Around 1:15 p.m., when the police refused to break down Meredith's door, Filomena's friend did instead. Meredith's body was discovered on the floor under her duvet, with fatal knife wounds to her neck. She was partially naked, and evidence of an intimate assault was present. During the following days, both Amanda and Raffaele were questioned endlessly by the Italian police. She had no lawyer, despite asking for one, and detectives were suspicious of her failure to raise the alarm when she first arrived home that morning. At first, Amanda told police that though she had been at her boyfriend's home that evening, she believed her boss, a Congolese man in his 30s named Patrick Lumumba, had broken into the apartment and attacked Meredith before killing her. Where exactly this allegation came from is unclear, and why Amanda felt the need to point the finger at Patrick, a man who neither knew Meredith nor where the 2 girls lived, remains to be seen. On November 5th, she went willingly to the police station to be interviewed as a witness. There, she recanted her accusation against Patrick, stating that she had been at her boyfriend's flat all night and knew nothing about the crime. Sadly, the authorities did not believe her, and on the following day, Amanda, Raffaele, and Patrick were all arrested for Meredith's murder. Patrick languished in jail for 2 weeks before patrons of his bar were able to provide an airtight alibi, but Amanda and Raffaele remained behind bars. Police were convinced that the pair had slain Meredith together in some kind of twisted act of violence. Several weeks later, detectives were able to positively identify DNA at the scene of the crime. To their surprise, it did not match Amanda, Raffaele, or Patrick. It was instead linked to a 20-year-old native of Côte d'Ivoire, Rudy Guede. As a known drug dealer, law enforcement was familiar with Rudy, and he had committed break-ins similar to the one seen at Amanda and Meredith's flat. He had also met both women some weeks earlier when he was socializing with their downstairs neighbors. Within a few days, Rudy was found on the run in Germany and charged with her murder. Unfortunately, this did not exonerate Amanda and Raffaele in the eyes of the Italian law. Now, rather than pinning the entire crime on Rudy, investigators believe that he conspired with Amanda and Raffaele, painting a scene ripped from Hollywood. According to the prosecution, Amanda attacked Meredith and, with the aid of Raffaele and Rudy, removed her jeans. At that point, Rudy assaulted her before Amanda herself delivered the fatal wound to Meredith's neck. The motivation for such a violent encounter was hazy at best, with the prosecution saying that Amanda believed Meredith was too uptight and deserved her assault.
I tre, sotto l'influsso dello stupefacente e verosimilmente anche dei fumi dell'alcol, decidono di porre in atto il progetto di coinvolgere Metz in un pesante gioco sessuale.
Again, the concrete reasoning for such accusations was sorely lacking during the trial. In October 2008, Rudy was convicted and sentenced to 30 years in prison. The following year, in December, both Amanda and Raffaele were also convicted and sentenced to 26 and 25 years, respectively.
Li condanna alla pena di anni 26 di reclusione la Knox e alla pena di anni 25 il Sollecito.
Both before and after the trial, publicity around the crime roared, especially where Amanda was concerned. Dubbed Foxy Knoxy by the press, she was portrayed as a vile villainess with provocative motivations and a cold-hearted ability to murder. The coverage of Amanda at the time was unfair and overblown, with many believing that sensationalism was getting in the way of good police work. After all, by 2011, forensic experts were loudly proclaiming that the evidence tying Amanda and Raffaele to the case was woefully flawed.
I started to wonder what was going on. There was no evidence that would support her conviction. I started looking, and the more I looked, the more concerned I got, till I realized there wasn't anything there. I have looked through hours of the crime scene video. I have seen the crime scene video that was started when the police arrived. There's nothing to put them in that room.
That same year, both her and her former boyfriend's convictions were overturned, and she came home to the United States as one of the most notorious women of the early 2000s.
What's important for me to say is just thank you to everyone who's believed in me, who's defended me, who's supported my family.
The next several years became an episode of terrifying whiplash for Amanda. In 2013, the Italian Supreme Court ordered that a new trial should take place, though she was allowed to remain in America. The following year, she and Raffaele were once again found guilty of Meredith's murder and sentenced yet again to an interminable stint in prison.
Ridetermina la pena inflitta a Knox Amanda Marie complessivamente in anni 28 e mesi 6 di reclusione.
Luckily, though, in a final ruling in 2015, the Italian Supreme Court definitively acquitted Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito, bringing an end to the legal proceedings.
I'm incredibly grateful for what has happened, for the justice I've received, for the support that I've had from everyone, from my family, from my friends, to strangers, to people like you.
The court cited insufficient evidence and criticized the handling of the case, stating that the investigation had been flawed and lacking in objectivity. The utter lack of biological evidence linking Amanda and Raffaele made their involvement nigh impossible, especially when considering how much DNA evidence, including a bloody handprint and many fingerprints, was left behind by the true culprit, Rudy Guede. After her definitive acquittal by the Italian Supreme Court in 2015, Amanda Knox has focused on rebuilding her life and moving forward from the highly publicized legal saga that spanned nearly a decade. Returning to the United States, Knox has become an advocate for criminal justice reform and the wrongfully accused. She has used her experience to shed light on issues such as the impact of media sensationalism, flaws in legal procedures, and the complexities of navigating foreign legal systems. However, it should be noted that despite being cleared of any murder charges, Amanda did remain convicted of slander in connection to the false allegations she made about Patrick Lumumba. That charge, which carried a 3-year prison sentence, was ultimately overturned as well in October 2023. She will face a new trial in Florence over the slander charge, and she states she is eager to prove her innocence once and for all.
I plan on pursuing justice to the fullest extent that I can, and I hope that ultimately I will be acquitted and really this whole thing could be put behind me.
The trial date is unknown at the time of recording. Now a wife and mother, Amanda focuses on the future and has completed her studies at the University of Washington, earning a degree in creative writing. She is now the author of 2 books, Waiting to be Heard, her memoir of the events surrounding Meredith Kercher's murder, and a collection of poems titled The Cardio Tesseract. She has been actively involved in public speaking engagements, sharing her perspective on the challenges she faced and advocating for fair treatment within the legal system. Additionally, Knox has authored several articles and essays, contributing to the discourse on criminal justice and personal freedoms. While her life post-2015 has included efforts to move beyond the shadow of her legal battles, Amanda Knox remains a prominent figure in discussions about the intersection of justice, media, and individual rights. As for Raffaele, he too is attempting to rebuild his life after the legal maelstrom.
Hey, I'm one of you. I'm a normal guy who passed through a nightmare.
As a computer engineer in Milan, he attempts to live a normal life, but he has chronicled his experiences in a memoir entitled Honor-Bound: My Journey to Hell and Back with Amanda Knox. After his harrowing arrest and stint in prison, Patrick Lumumba was forced to close his bar and leave Italy. He and his family have relocated to Krakow, Poland, and he remains rightfully furious at being falsely accused. As he told the Daily Mail in 2023, Amanda knew very well that I was innocent, but those few words that she said to the police destroyed me in an instant. The true killer, Rudy Guede, became a free man once more on November 24, 2021, though he maintains that he did not murder Meredith on that fateful night in 2007. He asserts that he was on a date with Meredith, and he discovered her mutilated body when he returned. Shocked, he fled the scene of the crime in fear. In reality, Rudy and Meredith never dated, and a broken window found in Filomena Romanelli's room indicates that he likely broke in via that route prior to Meredith arriving home. His initial motive was likely burglary. How and why he escalated to assault and murder is unknown, but after surprising, attacking, and then slaying Meredith, he robbed her, taking her money, credit cards, cell phone, and keys. Afterward, he closed her door, locked it, and then left out the front door, leaving a bloody shoe print behind as evidence. His exact whereabouts are unclear presently, but it seems he may be living near the town of Viterbo, Italy. In December 2023, he was rearrested and charged with physically assaulting his 23-year-old ex-girlfriend. While he is awaiting trial, he is required to wear an electronic tag and forbidden from going within 1,500 feet of his former partner. With all the commotion surrounding the case, it is easy to lose sight of the true horror that occurred on November 1, 2007. A bright young woman lost her life in a violent, terrifying manner. Meredith Kercher's family continues to endure many years without her. As Lyle Kercher, her brother, noted in 2015, nothing is going to bring Meredith back. Nothing will take away the horror of what happened for her. As of 2023, the Kercher family remains uninterested in communicating with either Amanda or Raffaele, believing that the two played some kind of role in their beloved Meredith's death. This story is tragic from so many angles and remains a stark reminder of the responsibility that the press plays in the criminal justice system. Years later, it is not the name of the innocent woman, Meredith Kercher, or even the name of her true killer, Rudy Guede, that is remembered. Rather, it is the sensationalized urban legend of Foxy Knoxy that holds the public's consciousness. We'd love to hear what you think about this case. Drop a comment below, and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. As always, thanks for watching.